talk about making big decisions, particularly the decision an actor is sometimes faced with where they have to decide between two or more competing roles that happen at the same time. How do you decide? I'm a Libra. I have a hard time deciding what to eat for breakfast. So when it comes to making big career decisions, I struggle with that quite a bit, and I'm sure you do too. But first, when you have a decision like this to make, that is a good thing. It means you are in demand and it means you have options. But there are a few things you want to consider before even making this decision. Have you already been offered a role and signed a contract, or have you already started rehearsing for a production? If either of those things is true, my advice would be to just forget the other offer altogether. Because dropping out of a contract or dropping out of a show mid-rehearsal is really bad form. And unless you have just an extremely life-changing offer come your way, you should probably not even have that choice to begin with. Does that make sense? Second, you want to communicate with the parties involved. Even though you might have told them that you don't have any conflicts, you can call them and say, hey, I've had another offer, and I wanted to see if I could maybe work out some sort of compromise, or at least get some more specifics about when you might be called. If you're in a musical, for instance, and you have a very small singing role or a speaking role, you might not be called for all the music rehearsals. If you're in a film, they may be shooting your character's scenes all on a specific set of days, or it could be spread out over an entire month. So you need to find out these details, or at least as much information as you can get, so you can see whether or not the schedules can actually overlap. You don't want to present yourself with an impossible conflict where you have to be in two places at the same time. So make sure you're very thorough, but if you can work it out so that you can do both projects, do that. So you've communicated effectively and you've gone over the schedule, and there's still just no way you can do both projects. How do you decide which one to do? Here are 10 things to consider while making your decision. Number 1, who actually cast you, and who cast you first? You audition for a role and you go through the entire process and they cast you. You were their first choice and they really liked you, you really liked them. You are ready to take that offer, and then suddenly somebody will call and say, hey, we got a recommendation from another actor that you might be good for this part. Are you interested in it? Or we had somebody drop out and we need your help. Could you please come and fill this role? Those are the ways that things usually work out. Yesterday, you had an offer on the table that you were very happy with. Your life was set. You have a good gig coming up and you're employed. Now today, you suddenly have this new offer and you're going mad trying to make a decision. If it's that kind of thing, just eliminate the new guy. Just tell him, hey, I've already got a show. That's all you got to do. Unless it's something that really speaks to you, you can just sort of make that decision really easy. Just think, yesterday I was fine with this, so why shouldn't I be fine with it today? Now, sometimes as an actor, you actually audition for several different things within a week, and maybe you get 1 or 2 offers at the same time. Both of them cast you first, and both of them are decent roles. That's when you need to maybe move on to the next step. Number 2, which show or role speaks to you the most? Is there one particular role or show that you have been dying to do, or that is a really meaty part, or something that just feels like this is the role I've been dying to play? Well, then it's a no-brainer, because we want to play those roles when they come up. They may not come up again, and you want to seize those opportunities when they happen. Now, what if both roles are about the equal weight? Well, then look at which roles are doing something different. You've set some goals for yourself as an actor. You either want to try to do more of the same kind of role so that you can get better at doing it, or you want to diversify your resume and try something different. You're tired of playing the same old type of role, and so is one of those roles doing something different, something out of your comfort zone, something unique? That's a big thing to factor in. Number 3, which role will do more for you and your career? It's time to be selfish here, folks. Don't worry about whether you're doing a director a big favor or whether it's something that you feel comfortable with. You want to pick the role that's going to match your career goal. Pick the role that scares you a little more, that maybe is going to challenge you a little bit more, that's going to give you something fun to do. You might have to dance. You might have to do a dialect you're not familiar with. You might have to be in a romantic love scene or something like that. Pick the thing that kind of scares you, that you haven't done before. That's the side of the column that you should put a check mark on. Number 4, what is the potential reach or audience for each of these productions? As actors, we want to be seen. If you produce art and no one sees it, there's no point in producing it. Art doesn't exist in a vacuum. It needs an audience. Which of these 2 projects has the most potential to be seen by others? If you're in a theater production, you're going to be limited to the number of seats in the house and the number of performances that are going on. And then also how well the theater is able to market their product. Have you gone to see a show there? Do people actually go and see? Do the shows get reviewed by other reviewers? Are you familiar with people who work at this theater because you've seen their work before? Those are all questions you should answer. If it's a film you're doing, is it an independent film? Look at the director's previous reels. Go to their YouTube channel, see how many views they've gotten. See if they've ever released any work that you can find anywhere. A lot of films never get made. They never get distributed. They never get seen. It's a tough business, and you may be risking all that time for very little nothing. Number 5, which schedule fits your schedule better? We all have lives. Some of us have day jobs, night jobs, we have families to raise, we have school we might be going to. There's a lot of things going on in our lives. So which project is going to dig more into your personal time, into the fun things that you want to do? Is one project going to take more of your evening time or more of your daytime than the other one? Which one fits better in your life? Put a check mark in one of those columns for that particular project. Number 6, which is a better script, better show? If you're faced with different theatrical productions, you may not have a script. It may be a work in progress that's being written as you go. It may be a tried and true show that's been done everywhere, and you want to look at what is the writing like, what is the music like, what is the script like for the film you're doing. If you don't have access to that script, or you can't get access because it's a new work or an independent film or something like that, I got a little fly going on there, then what you want to do is take the sides that you've received and look at the quality of the writing there. Look at the quality all around and which one feels better, which one feels like it's gonna be better. It may be something you can't judge right now, and you don't want to weigh too much on this, but if one of the scripts feels not so great, take the other one. Number 7, which project is in a new venue or in a new format that you've never worked in before? For example, if you're a musical theater actor, you might want to try a straight play. If you're a stage actor, you might want to try a film. If you are a dancer, you might want to try singing or acting. If you work at a theater all the time because you're favored at that theater, you might want to take the project that's at some other theater that you've always wanted to work at. If you are used to doing extra work or ensemble work, you want to take the project that gives you a lead role. If you are used to playing lead roles, you might want to take the project that gives you a meaty character role, something you haven't tried before that you can rebrand yourself with. These are the things you should ask yourselves. Which one's new? Which one's exciting? When you work at a new company or a new film director or a new cast, you open up all sorts of connections that you don't currently have. If you stick with something that's safe that you have done before, you're going to stay with the same group of people, the same venue. And that's a very good thing. It gives you longevity, but sometimes you want to consider branching out and expanding your reach. Number 8, and this was another selfish one. Which one pays more? As actors, we often will take any role we can get. We just want the experience and we just want to be on stage. We want to do it for a resume builder and all those excuses they give you. In the long run, if you're going to be a professional actor, you need to get paid. Money talks, and sometimes that is the deciding factor. So put a checkbox, a big checkbox, in the one that's going to pay you the most money and make it worth your time. Now, I'm not saying that's always the right decision, but factor in money, definitely factor in money. The one caveat to the money situation is the cost to you. How much is this project going to cost you in terms of lost wages from taking time off of work, the commute costs, costs associated to parking, meals, staying overnight in a hotel. How much are you going to have to pay in order to do this project? You need to deduct that amount from any money offers to sort of get a fairer assessment of which project actually pays more. And I'm not trying to make you into a money-grabbing actor. Money is not the only factor, and it's certainly not even the most important factor. Too many actors work for nothing, and that is an unnecessary thing in this business. We just want you to get paid what you're worth, and your value may be a lot higher than you think. Number 9, which director, cast, producer, etc. do you want to work with the most? Sometimes you know a director, you know that they're going to be solid. You know that the producing organization is a good one to work with and has clout and has visibility and treats their people well. If you know that to be true, you want to factor that into the decision as well. However, if there's a director at a project or a producer on a project that is a big name or somebody that you really would love to work with or somebody whose work you admire but you've never had a chance to work with, now might be your only chance to get in with them. Which director speaks to you more? Which producing company really excites you? Which one is going to be your safest bet? You want to be safe here. And finally, number 10, go with your gut. Listen to that little inner voice. Go with your gut. And if you really can't tell what your gut is telling you, try this little trick. Take out a coin, flip it in the air, and see what it lands on. Now, I'm not suggesting that you make a career decision based on the toss of a coin, but when that coin is in the air, before you look at the result, your gut will tell you which one of those choices you really want. And if you're still struggling to make a decision, perhaps the thing you should do is ask your friends and family for their advice. They might have a perspective that you hadn't considered, or they might be able to show you an area where you have a blind spot. Also, take your time, sleep on it. Thoughtful consideration is going to help make any decision better. Also, there might be times when you're not deciding between two projects. You might just be deciding whether or not to take a project at all. And you can use these same tips in situations like that as well. So I hope these tips were helpful for you. I hope they help make your current decision or your decisions in the future a little bit easier to manage. It's never easy to make tough career choices, but we all got to do it sometimes. So good luck, and we'll see you in the next video. If you like this video, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel for more performer-related content. Hope to see you next time.